Hey guys, Josh here with Josh and Hunter's Adventures, and welcome back to another episode. Today's video, we're going to be going over my top 3 baits for smallmouth in the fall of the year. It's early November, the water temperature's starting to cool off, and those smallmouth are feeding heavy. So I want to go over some of the baits that I use this time of year that help me catch a lot of smallmouth. There's going to be one bait that I'm going to be going over that you're not going to want to miss. You're going to think, what in the world? But I promise you, this is a sure smallmouth catcher. I'm almost kind of afraid to really let the cat out of the bag, so to speak, because it is a definite producer. But we're going to hold off on it for just a minute. We'll just go ahead and get straight into it. These are no specific order. This is just what I like to throw this time of year. And the first thing I always have tied on is a little small Kitech. This one is a 2.8. It's just on a little small 1/4 ounce, 1/8 ounce head, whichever one I decide to throw. But I like to downsize this time of year because the shad in my area are a little bit smaller. And it really depends on color, depending on water clarity. You can either go with a sexy shad, or this is the electric blue chartreuse. I really have a lot of luck with this with smallmouth. They seem to really key in on this, the chartreuse and blue color. So I tend to have this tied on, but I do have a shad color tied on also. If the water's super clear, sometimes it just seems like they really won't key in on this as much. So that is a really, really good bait. Basically, the way I fish it is I'll get off of these points, and a lot of times I'll use my live scope, and if you don't have live scope, you don't have to do it that way, but a lot of times I'll target the ones that I actually see that are out there schooling, you know, the shad and stuff like that. But what I'll do is I'll get off these points and I'll throw just as far as I can throw, and I will just wind it, I mean, so slow. It's almost like you're almost letting it pendulum back to the boat. And a lot of times those smallmouth, they'll just run up and hit it, and just hold on because it's a good fight. One little tip that I will give you that I found out is you don't want to use a heavy wire hook. I pour these are a Do-It worm nose mold, is what these are, and it's a very light wire hook, and it just seems like it gives the bait a lot more action. You don't want a big heavy swim bait hook that would be like for like a big underspin or anything on these smaller 2.8s and 3.3s. The next bait that I like to throw this time of year is a spook. This one is the Heddon Boyo. It's the smaller version that they released last year, and it is a sure catcher. Like I said, the reason for this one is it is a little bit smaller. This time of the year, the shad are a little bit smaller, and it just seems like they key in on this a little bit more. And I'll show you this one. You can see it is just mangled up. They really like this, and it doesn't have to be chrome. I have the bone color and various different other colors, but this is just what I had tied on just recently here the other day, and seemed to perform really well. But it walks just the same as any other spook. The only other tip that I could give you is make sure it's got really sharp hooks on it. I like mustads. Right here I've got some mustads out here, so just make sure you change out the hooks. That's very important on topwater. You'll lose a lot of fish if you don't have super sharp hooks, but I like those mustad triple grips. Even Gamakatsu is really good. But basically what I'll do with this is the same thing. I'll get on points or any small like little pockets where they push those shad into and these coves, and just throw across these points, or you know, get off of them a pretty good ways, and just work that spook back. I kind of slow it down just a little bit this time of year, and it seems like it produces really well. You know, smallmouth, they like a lot of times that erratic, you know, action, but this time of year they seem like they key in really well if I just work it like just a pop, almost letting it walk all the way, and then working it back that way. That seems to really work well this time of year. Okay, so let's talk about that one bait that I was telling you that is an absolute smallmouth producer. This bait, I guarantee if you give it a try, you're going to have success with it. And that is the Bomber Long A. It's not a very good jerk bait. It's a really good wake bait. Been throwing this now for a while, and it is an absolute dynamite bait for smallmouth. So what I like to do is I'll get off these points, I'll get off these flats going into these coves, and I'll make super long casts and hold my rod tip up just slightly, because you want to wake it across the top of the water making that V, and those smallmouth just come up and just destroy it. I'm going to show you a little video clip here in just a second of how they hit this. It's so aggressive, it's unreal. But I like to throw it in a bone color. They seem to key on in that color really, really well. And I like to throw it on 12-pound monofilament on a cranking stick, okay? That cranking stick allows you to play them just a little bit. It doesn't jerk the hooks out of their mouth. Just make sure you replace the hooks that come on these. They're not very good. These are Mustad, the triple grips, in a size, let's see, I've got the box here, a size 4. So make sure you replace the hooks. They're not very good that come on these, and you'll catch a lot more fish that way. But like I said, just slow wind it back to you, make that V, and hold on, because when they hit it, it's an absolute blast. Let's go ahead and get to the video and show you how they hit it. Goodness.
Okay. We don't know it.
Yeah.
Did you watch him?
No.
He's out of nowhere.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty good one. Okay, so you've seen in the video of how aggressive they are when they hit that long A, waking across the top of the water. It's a really fun way to catch them. If you go out this fall, make sure you got a Kitech tied on and a little spook and that long A waking across the top of the water, and you're sure to catch some smallmouth on your waters. Hope you guys enjoyed this content. If you did, leave me a thumbs up, and if you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe and turn on that notification bell. That way you know when we put out videos. Until next time, this is Josh with Josh and Hunter's Adventures. Thanks for watching.